Hey there, friends. Welcome to your monthly forecast reading. I got the message that you would like me to continue to do these monthly forecast readings beyond and following the collapse of cosmic updates. Happy to do so. Love tuning in with all of you. Definitely. Stay in touch with me here. Let me know if there are other things that you're interested in. I've got my Embodied Wisdom School Foundations course coming up in a couple of months, which is just a phenomenal way to build the right kind of platform and foundation for doing really deep transformative work. People want to make big changes in their lives, and just like anything, having the fundamentals down and building the proper container for transformation can make all the difference. So there will be more information about that in the coming weeks. And if you're looking to get a private reading with me, you can do so down below. You can also check out the transformational coaching and facilitation work that I do, which is my true love. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the reading for the month of March. Take good care. Wherever you happen to be right now, give yourself a moment to take a few deep breaths. Let your awareness drop down into your body. You might notice the support of the planet. And you might bring a little bit of attention up into your heart space, noticing some of the things in your life that bring a smile to your face, allowing for some gratitude to warm you up. All right. We call out to the grandmothers and the grandfathers of the North, the South, the East, and the West. We call out to Mother, Father, God, the denizens of light, the deep ones, the rooted ones. Please be with us here today. Bring forward a clear message and the energy that each person who is listening and watching needs at this time. Thank you. All right. So, as usual, you'll be using your intuition to choose one of these cards up above. And then if you like, you can skip ahead to the reading that corresponds with it. So give yourself a moment and just notice if one of these rocks or one of these cards is calling your attention. There doesn't need to be a logical reason, but you're just feeling drawn to this particular piece for today. Great. So we will begin with our first option underneath the triangle-like shape here. So I'm going to tune in with those of you that have chosen this card or that will choose this particular card. Just give me one moment here. I'm feeling that the deck could use a little extra clearing. All right. So we are looking at the month of March. So for those of you that chose the first option, this is going to be your reading for the month of March. First card is going to be the basic situation for the month ahead. This is giving us a sense of what it is that you're growing through at this time, maybe some of the events that are going to happen or that are challenging you. Second card is going to be the obstacle, which will be the reciprocal energy to your growth process, that which is creating friction or challenges. This can be a sign of old patterns that are coming to the surface or just challenging events in general. Next card will be the outcome, which will give us a general sense of what it is that you'll be coming out the other side of this month with, and maybe a bit of information about what the subsequent months are going to hold. Up above, we've got our advice card giving us some added information about how you might navigate the things that are coming up ahead. So let's begin with our situation card for the month of March. What a incredibly positive card for the month of March. You've got our 10 of Cups showing up, which means that there's going to be a high level of joy, fulfillment, sense of relational happiness, which means spending time with people that really make you feel happy. This can be a sign of love and family and joy together. It's kind of like all things are lining up and feeling really positive for you, particularly in the relationship side of things. So this can be friendships, this can be significant others, or even new love. This can be relationships with your children, with your parents. This can also be a sign of just feeling interconnected with life, feeling like you are connected with nature, connected with the cosmos, connected with spirit or creator. There is just a ton of joy that you can likely expect in this month ahead. Now, this might be the direction that things are trending towards or that you're growing into, is more of a sustained, balanced sense of joy, connectedness, and happiness. Let's take a look at what might be getting in the way or might be pushing up against this in the month ahead. So this is our 10 of Pentacles, and this can sometimes speak to generational patterns or generational relationships, situations where we're talking about not just your close family, but your ancestors and the people before them, which means that it, in this particular place as an obstacle, it can be a sign that some of the patterns or ancestral sort of trauma that's gotten in the way in the past or for your ancestors might be coming to the surface. And this makes a lot of sense because we're talking about deep connected fulfillment. And in our places of deep connected fulfillment, there are also old patterns that can feel sticky, that can feel enmeshed, that can feel avoidant. Our ancestral relationships, and even I would say some of our collective relationships, the ways that we are relating as a collective species, have a lot of nasty little stuck patterns, places that are disconnected or have sort of sickness in them. And it's possible that you're going to get to notice some of these. I would say that it's a really good sign that the baseline is this 10 of Cups, which means your ability to see and navigate some of these places will be heightened. You're going to have more room, more awareness, more light to navigate some of these things. Now, what might this look like? It could mean that you're feeling really deeply connected and related, but you're having some troubles with people like your parents, or you're feeling deeply connected and related, but you feel like you're losing yourself a little bit in your relationships. Who am I in the context of my relationships? Who am I in the context of community or groups? This can also look like starting to uncover some ancestral trauma pieces. I feel so deeply related and connected, but there's this strange sense of anxiety in relationship to me. Where is this coming from? These are the types of things that you'll probably get a chance to explore in the coming month. It could be helpful to work with somebody that can help you with some of the deeper patterns there, but also just staying aware. Is this honestly my stuff that's coming up, or is this something from a past life, or is this something from my ancestral lineage? Let's take a look at the outcome for the month of March. Deep connection with your spiritual side, deep connection with higher intelligence. You might find that with this deep relating process and maybe even some collective relationship learning and growth that's happening, you might find that at the end of the month, it's really important for you to be taking some time, taking some rest time, time for yourself. I would even say interspersing that rest time throughout the month. So there could be some really out there exploring, getting to know, getting to meet new people. Make sure you're getting time to rest up, tune in with yourself. You can see here in the Four of Swords, he's in sort of a church-like sacred sanctuary space. And this is a reminder to do the work that's helping you align with your greater self. That's going to be the engine that helps you navigate the more deeply sort of complex pieces and the ways that you're going to continue to be able to fill your cup when you're relating with others. Be sure to give yourself time on your own to digest and rest. Let's take a look at your advice card for the month of March. Great. So 7 of Cups is showing up here. And the way that I'm feeling the particular frequency of this card in relation to what we've said so far is not getting overly complex in your mind about needing to do this or needing to do that. Rather, rooting yourself in the relationships that feel good, giving yourself time to rest and clear your energy field, clear yourself out, so that you don't get lost in all the different possibilities. There could be an increase in energy this month, and that can be a little bit scattering sometimes if we don't have a good base, a good sense of our root system. So spending time outside, working on some of your meditation practice, or building your root system so that you're not getting so frayed by the increase in energy that's likely coming through, and rather able to discern, where is it that my attention needs to go at this time. There's also a quality of when things are good, there can be a bit of grasping to try to keep them around. And rather than grasping or trying to keep certain experiences around, people around, states of consciousness around, come back to your base, to the place that says things are going to be okay regardless of how they change, rather than getting whipped up into a flurry over here. All right. So for those of you that chose the first option, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope this is helpful. Looking forward to connecting again soon. Take good care. All right, so now we're going to move to our second option. So for those of you that chose the double helix card here, this is going to be your reading for the month of March. I'm just going to tune in with those of you that chose the second option. All right, first card is your situation card for the month of March, giving you a sense of the general themes and maybe some of the growth that's happening in the month ahead. Second card will be the obstacle card, which will give us a sense of what's pushing against your growth process, the friction that's sort of pushing up against things, and some of the things that might be getting in the way. And our final card is the outcome card for the month of March, giving you sort of a general sense of what you're coming out the other side with and what might be happening in the months that follow. Up above, we've got our advice card here. So let's begin here with our situation card for the month of March. Another just fantastically positive card. If you happen to have listened to the previous reading for the first selection, similar sort of start theme here, which here we've got the 9 of Cups, which means a lot of fulfillment, contentment, feeling organized emotionally, feeling like you're grounded, and you've got like good stability in your emotional world. Sometimes this is called like the wish fulfillment card. It's a card where we're getting something that we've really wanted or that we've really been yearning for. That can be something that you've consciously been yearning for, or something at a soul level that you didn't even know you truly wanted, but has started to click into place. This is a great card. There's less emphasis in this card than the 10 of Cups on relationship. You can see this as one individual. So not so much about the relationships in one's life, but more like personal contentment, personal achievement, and sense of ease in one's life. So great baseline, likely something that you are developing or you're building into at this time. Look at how ridiculously worn out this card is. I've been reading with this deck for such a long time. Anyways, this is the baseline. Let's take a look at what might be pushing against this process of growth. And here we have our Two of Wands in our obstacle position. Now, this can mean that there's a little bit of indecisiveness about what it is that you're wanting in the long term. You might be sitting here going, okay, so things are working out in a good way. How do I maintain this sense, and what is it that wants to happen next? And there might be a little bit of fear around claiming what it is that you truly want. This is something to do a little bit of inner searching, inner process around. Do you feel clear about what it is that wants to happen next, or what it is that you're wanting next? Or is it sort of shaky ground? Do you believe that what it is that you want is aligned with your actual soul purpose and therefore you deserve it? Or is it something that you feel like, I don't know if I deserve this. I don't know if life is going to respond to me in this particular way. So there might be a little bit of like a block in your vision. And the way that I'm sensing it is, it's like you might conceptually know what it is that you're wanting, but you're having trouble believing that you can actually bring it into form, that it can actually show up in your world, in your life. Now, this does not mean that you should try to like brainwash yourself into believing that you can have it, or pretend like you are confident that you can have it. It means that it's time to look at some of these uncertainties, some of these places where maybe there's some injury around your confidence, and start to heal them, start to bring more light and love to them, so that then what happens is naturally emerges a knowing of what wants to happen next, versus faking it till you make it. There are certain circumstances where that makes sense. When it comes to rebuilding some of our foundations, it's better to actually do some healing and some mending, whether that's with yourself or with somebody that knows how to navigate that territory with mastery. All right, let's take a look at your outcome card for the month of March. I like this personally. I think particularly for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, it's got some of that springtime quality to it, particularly if you're able to step into it with some balance. Let me give you a little bit of context of what I'm talking about. This is the Knight of Wands, which is sort of a powerful, gregarious sort of energy, this like forward moving, taking a strong step forward, maybe a little bit overly spontaneous. Sometimes it can be volatile, but it's very like forward moving yang energy. And on the one side, somebody's knocking on my door. 1 second, I'll hop right back. All right, here we are back. Okay, so on the one side, what we can say is that sometimes this particular energy can be really positive. Sometimes it can be really volatile. So I would just say be careful about this situation where there's something that feels a little bit uncertain or a little bit wobbly, because sometimes what we do is then we try to make spontaneous decisions because it's like, I don't feel comfortable with being with some of this unknown, so I'm just gonna pull the trigger. I'm just gonna run out and just go do this thing. And I would say be a little bit more patient and gentle. You want to make sure that with this kind of creative forward moving energy that you have your feet solidly on the ground. Now that doesn't mean that you have to have everything figured out in order to make the next move. It's just saying be gentle, maybe be a bit patient with yourself, and try not to override the parts of yourself that are saying, no, I don't know what I'm doing, but rather see if you can include them as you move forward. It seems like this could be a very powerful and creative month for those of you that have chosen this one. Wrangling that energy and strengthening your intention about where it is that you're headed. So let's take a look at the advice card for the month of March. Advice card is a reminder to slow down, give yourself room to feel some old melancholy that might come to the surface, and keep your eyes open. There might be an opportunity that's already showing itself. And what I mean by this is, if there's some uncertainty of where to go next, keep your eyes open, keep your subtle senses open, because there might be some clear signs that you're just not listening to. And as you start to notice, there will be strong affirmations of what the next step is for you. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in with me on this one. For those of you that chose the second card, this is your reading, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Take good care. All right, and now moving on to our final card, the third choice here underneath the cube. And this will be your reading for those of you that chose the third card. This will be your reading for the month of March. So I'm just going to tune in with those of you that will choose this particular card. All right. First card will be your situation card for the month of March, giving you a sense of the sort of trajectory of your learning at this time, some of the overall themes of the month ahead. Second card will be the obstacle, which can be some of the reciprocal energy that's pushing against your growth process and some of the challenges that you might be facing. And third card is the outcome card, giving you a sense of the general outcome, some of the things that you'll be coming away with from this month, and maybe some of the energies that you'll be stepping into in the subsequent months. Up above is our advice card. Getting pretty good at saying those different card descriptions relatively fast. So let's take a look at your situation card for the month of March. Oi, oi, oi. So here we have our Eight of Swords. You might be experiencing and stepping into, if you're not already experiencing it, which I wouldn't be surprised if you already were, would be some worry, anxiety, feeling a bit trapped, feeling like things are way off base. It could be that you are lost in a bit of paranoia or desperation, feeling like maybe you're not in the right place or something is just thoroughly askew. So you can see up above her, it's kind of hard to see in this, there's a castle up on the hill there, and the sort of mythos here is that she has wandered down into a boggy, wet area away from her lovely queendom, and she's now feeling very distraught because things feel amiss and askew. So it could be that you're embroiled in a situation that's not really for you, and you've kind of leaned into it thinking that there was something here for you, or it could be connected to some old karma or an old situation, and you've gotten yourself a little bit stuck in the mud. Now, there are ways to navigate through this, but let's get a little bit more information here before I start giving you escape routes. So the obstacle card here is the world card, and this gives us the insight that something in your life is you're trying to graduate into a new level in some part of your life. Now this could mean the end of a significant chapter of your life, whether that's in a relationship, a career, a inner development process, any one of these things, something you're coming to the end of, but in a positive way. It's part of the moving on process. Some people have a challenging time with letting go, even if it means that it's part of their progression. As a result of of there being some resistance to something coming to an end or to a cycle change, you may have clung on to something that is ready to be dropped longer than you need to. It's also possible that in the process of maybe avoiding this important sort of shift, you've sort of veered off to the left to go on a side quest that has now created some discomfort and some pain. The good news is that you are still heading in a good direction. If you can sort of reorient, put your navigation back on the direction that you need to head, let go of whatever things are sort of here, process the discomfort of loss, because even when we are moving forward, there's a death process that comes with that. Even when we are, think of like you've just finished a training program, or you've just finished school, college or something, or you've just finished a particular role at work. There's like, okay, great, I'm being promoted, or okay, great, I'm going into the real world from the school world. There's sadness around letting go of certain things, and there can be a tendency to prolong things, the ending of something and the transition longer than necessary, creating a bit of anxiety or fear. Let's take a look at what your outcome is for the month of March. Things are going to balance out. Things are going to start to make sense. The Knight of Cups is a transition master. So once you start turning towards... Okay, so apparently I've overheated my camera somehow. I don't know. So I think what I was saying is that the Knight of Cups is a master of adaptation, shifting, turning, changing, smooth transitions. So as soon as you start turning towards the stream that is taking you towards this next phase in your life, which it sounds like you're going to find your way there this month, things are going to smooth out significantly. So it's a good time to do a bit of exploration. What am I afraid of? What am I avoiding? What are the things that I'm not letting go of that life is saying, it's time? Some of this might have to do with growing into, or taking your stand as the beautiful, powerful being that you are. One way or another, if you start to turn towards this transition, things are going to go a lot smoother. Let's see what your advice card is saying for the month of March. Advice card is showing up as the Nine of Pentacles, letting you know you got this. Give yourself time to enjoy what it is that you've already achieved. You don't have to rush. It's not like you got to get on board with this transition immediately, but running away or avoiding it is going to cause pain. So give yourself the time and the space to enjoy what's in front of you, and things are going to continue to move in a really good direction. All right, thanks so much for tuning in with me, for those of you that chose the third card, and everybody else. As always, it's a pleasure to get to tune in with you. Thanks for finding me here on my private channel. There's more information down below if you'd like to learn more. All right, take good care.